Welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we are back today making another friendship bracelet bag that once again my wife has picked these colors for. And well, my wife doesn't do the knots. She makes the kumis, and she's fantastic at making kumis, but she doesn't make bags or bracelets or anything like that. So she wouldn't understand what kind of a curveball she has thrown me here. Essentially, it is four colors and like two reds and two purple-ish things, right? Um, with like three strands going into like each one of the loops if we were to go with the same pattern that we did last time, right? So let me explain why this is sort of weird. Let's grab one of these colors here. There's three strands. So if we wanted to go, this would be one, this would be two, where do we put the third, right? So obviously this ends up being this for this knot. You'd have an extra one over on the side, but then you have three of the next color. It's a really weird thing. It just is. It really there's okay, I could go one, two, three, and then go down here with three of the next color, and then over here, three of one and three of the other. So with that, you could make patches. You could, turn this like a square of this and then a square of another, and you could go with something like that. If you're trying to keep it simple, let's grab another one of the colors just to kind of demo this out, right? You could have um, the colors kind of swapping out. Um, I don't know where it comes. Maybe this one comes back again down here, and they kind of alternate and kind of do a weave sort of thing, kind of braided ish. Um, a little bit difficult to start each one of the loops. It's a little, I don't know. What I thought we would do is I have this pattern where there is 24 instead of just 12 into the loop, which would mean that instead of just using one of these little segments, we would use two, and then there would just be four loops for the whole bag. What does this change? Well, it means that instead of having only three up at the top, we could have six, which means I can put three on either side, um, which I kind of think might actually work out a little bit better. So let's start with this reddish one. Let's go 1, 2, 3 here, and 1, 2, 3 here, right? So obviously for this little diamond area, it could only be this, right? There's no option for anything else. If you have the same color on both sides of the knot, it's going to be that color. That's just a thing. Oops. That is what it is. So this is our starting point. Do we need to do both sides? Yeah, might as well, right? So yeah, this really, I probably spent the last 30 minutes just staring at the colors, trying to come up with an idea of what to even do with this. And yeah, because I really, my, like, okay, there would be a possibility of doing some really crazy, fun, complicated patterns, right? But I kind of wanted um, at least these couple bags to be something to inspire you guys with, to say, come on, let's make bags. Let's turn this into something fun that we can do. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to go with something easier. So, okay, so this was our first color. this will be our second color. And I'm going to put them on, whoops, on both sides again. And they're just kind of coming through nice and straight. Yeah, we're only going to use the left and the right knots. People like to call those the forward and backward. My only problem with calling it forward and backward is it assumes that the right is the right way to go. And I have friends who are left-handed, and that drives me insane that we just automatically all assume that everything going to the right is the right way of doing it. So it's a right knot versus a left knot in my mind. So check it out. There is the start of a thing. I don't know why this one is so short. The little nub on the end is barely got something to stick a color to. All right, so this little group here is our solid. So essentially with a pattern like this, what I'm doing when trying to create a pattern for a bag is something that I can join a bunch of loops together in order to get the number of strings. So like in this case, this will be a 96 string bracelet. Well, 96 string bag. Which is 24 in each one of the loops, right? The kumi loop up at the top. There'll be 4 of those. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan. All right, so the next color we're going to go with is this more pinkish color. All right, so we're kind of alternating between the ones that are kind of the reddish color and then the purplish color. And so this is our little square down here. So as far as making the kumi goes, I think honestly doing a 24 string kumi is probably harder than a 12 string. Not terribly harder, just, you know, it's just more strings on the disc, and I think you kind of, it'll all work out in the end. I don't know. I'm going to actually have to ask Mandy on that one. I'm really curious. When you see me actually make this in the live streams, which I don't know when I'm actually going to get to it, this will obviously come after the other one that I was going to make, which I don't know how long it actually takes me to make a bag. So we're going to find that out on an actual live stream. So that should be entertaining. So okay, the next one is this lighter purple. So you can kind of see we sort of have a little theme kind of started here. I kind of building up to a big reveal as to what's going to happen with the whole rest of this. So I'm a little excited. Again, I was looking for a way of doing this that somebody that is kind of okay with, you know, at least doing these couple knots, if they wanted to, you know, go bigger and try something new, that this would be something that they could totally do. And yeah, this isn't so bad. All right. Yeah, we didn't do over there. That's all right. And you can see I have like guidelines all over the place. Um, that was because I plan on doing some really way more complicated bags in the near future. And well, I plan on planning the bags in the near future. I plan on the actual making them is going to actually take a little bit because I'm trying to keep up the whole, 5 days a week videos. Um, so making bags during the week would make that almost impossible. So yeah, that's just that's a thing. So, but making patterns are a little bit easier. It still takes me time, obviously. This is taking a while. But surely this is a lot quicker than actually making the bag itself. So if you're not familiar with my smaller bags, these things are kind of, they're ideal for being able to, if you're like working in an office and you don't want to carry the whole full handbag with you when you're just going to go out and grab something to eat. You can just carry a few cards and, like your driver's license or whatever, and some money. And it's perfect for that sort of thing. We used to, back when we were working in the office, all the gals had just a minimalistic little bag that they used for going to lunch, and kind of inspired me that that could be a thing. And yeah, or you could use it like a medicine bag. That also works. I I've had friends actually purchase them just for that purpose. So that's kind of cool too. Okay, so why am I bothering putting in all of these? Well, because it's going to make it a little bit easier as we get to the next part of this because, oops, um, I am not going to just do straight rows. Oops. I want this to have a little flair, a little thing of interest that catches the eyes. So, do. Okay, so we have all of the underlying strings all figured out for all of this. Now comes the fun part. This, going over top of these, I want it to do all but the middle. And then all but the middle of that. And then all but the middle of that. And then when those colors all join up again, it can only be the straight up bunches of colors. I'm not sure when it comes to the pattern making portion of this, if this pink, can you really see the difference of that? Let's, can we get, yeah, let's do that. Let's go back over here. Let's grab this color, paint, fill whole section. Let's make it more pink. All right, go back to the regular. There. At least you can see it now, right? That was the important part. All right, so this gets this color, and this gets this color. See what we did there? And then the same happens over here. This gets this one. this gets this, and this gets this. All right, and then we can go ahead and bring these down. And it's essentially just following a nice straight line along. And then the middle one just takes on a single knot. Like that. Let's do it over here as well. And then where the two pieces come together, it's just a solid. There we go. And then the dark, then the light, and then this. Right? And then the same thing is going to happen with the blue. And then down to a solid blue in the corners. All right, and then this one gets this color, this gets this, and this gets this. We know that one's going to get that. That one gets that. That one gets that. All right, and then it just kind of keeps getting more and more fun. So this will be this one here. This will be this one here. So essentially, there's still a lot of work for me to actually put in all of the underlying strings and finish designing this all out. But I think you guys get the gist of what I'm making. And I think I think that understanding how I kind of went about this will make it a little bit easier for you guys to actually design out your own things. At least that's my hopes. And that, who knows, maybe you guys come up with something really awesome, which that is my hopes. I want you guys to come out and make amazing bags and amazing bracelets. Like maybe, like this honestly could be just a really cool bracelet if you didn't go all the way out, you know, connecting it to whatever. This would still be a really cool bracelet. And then it's coming down this side. Whoops. Get that outer border there. And then once you get down to here, the whole thing repeats with the dark red coming out. So there you have it. It's the pattern itself is going to be a little bit on the subtle side. But you're going to have these like, you know, like a little sort of a dotted lines going in between each one of these things that I think it'll just make it just a little bit more interesting than if we tried to do a braid or we tried to do, you know, like overlapping boxes and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and finish filling this whole thing in. I'll have it over on my website, akaawol.com. And before I go, I want to thank my Patreon supporters who made this possible. With their support, I get to make videos and make the bags and show you guys all how this stuff happens. So thank you guys very much for that. I really appreciate it. I love sharing my art. And if you want to, you can come join us over on Patreon. That would be awesome. And yeah, as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.